Everyone, and I will a warm welcome to the exchange program on UN International Literacy Day with India, Russia, and Belarus. I am Sanavi, and I will be your moderator for today's session. We are honored to have the opportunity to engage in this meaningful dialogue with our esteemed guests of honor and the young minds who will shape the future of literacy in our nation. Today, we celebrate literacy, a fundamental human right and the foundation of lifelong learning. As we explore the theme of literary development across different age groups, I invite you all to contemplate the importance of education to nurture understanding, growth, and global cooperation. Firstly, let us briefly explore the significance of UN International Literacy Day, celebrated every year on September 8th. This day serves as a reminder to the international community of the importance and the need for literacy for individuals, communities, and societies to intensify the efforts toward more literate societies. It is a momentous occasion that brings global attention to the importance of literacy and education. It's a day to reflect on the progress made in combating illiteracy, acknowledging challenges, and reaffirming our commitment to achieving a more literate world. Now, let us begin our session by inviting our guest Ravana to share their insights on the importance of literacy and the role it plays in shaping the future. Please join me in welcoming the first guest of honor from India, Dr. Priya Aher, Headmistress of Ashoka Group of Schools, Sinnar Campus, Nashik, who will share her thoughts on literary development. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone, once again. And I'm actually feeling very, proud to be on this forum today on Literacy Day. Now, children and everyone present here, when we call a person a literate person, a person who can read and write is a literate person, right? And now why reading and writing is very important? Because at every age, like right, take from foundation age, for middle school or higher school, just taking degrees is not important. But when a person is able to read, he can read the thoughts of others. He can contemplate on his thoughts. He can interpret things. By doing this, he can communicate with, different people in the society. He can raise his thoughts. If there is something which is wrong going on anywhere, he can actually make people understand what is the right or wrong in this situation, how one has to behave properly in different types of problems which are erupting in the society. So we can say that literacy is actually a social phenomenon, right? If we know to speak, if we know to read, if we know to write, then we are able to be a good communicator. We are able to collaborate with different types of people, right? We can be a critical analyst in some situation where some things are there, where human interaction or involvement is required. So literacy at every age is important. It is rightly said that if a mother is literate, the nation is literate. Because only a literate mother who can understand things, who can read the history, who can read the future, who can understand the present, will raise the child well. Raise the child well to become a responsible citizen of tomorrow, right? And it's very important in this scenario, present and for the future, we raise gentlemen and gentle ladies, who can understand what is important for a sustainable life. Because we need to take care of ourselves and our fellow beings. And I think that is the highest virtue we understand by being literate. So by this, I just welcome everyone and children. You're doing a lovely job and understand the real meaning of being literate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your enlightening words. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our guest of honor from the Belarusian delegation, Pushkarevich Anna Sergeevna, the coordinator of the school number 97 in Minsk and chairman of the Public Association Belarusian Peace Foundation. 𝘃𝗶𝘁𝗃𝗀𝗃 district of Minsk, Republic of Belarus, who will share her thoughts on literacy.
Ты переводишь, иди сюда, давайте говорите. Вас приветствует Беларусь, город Минск. Я учитель русского языка и литературы средней школы номер 97, школы мира, Pushkarevich Анна Сергеевна. Валя, переводи.
Welcome to Belarus, Minsk, teacher of Russian languages and literature of secondary school 97, School of Peace, Pushkarevich Анна Сергеевна.
Умение читать и писать – это основа. Грамотность позволяет общаться в коллективе и в повседневной жизни. Правильно построенная речь и четкое изложение мыслей делают коммуникацию между людьми приятнее и понятнее.
The ability to read and write is the foundation. Literacy allows to effectively communicate in the team and in everyday life. Properly constructed speech and clear presentation of thoughts make communication between people more pleasant and understandable.
Грамотные люди чувствуют себя уверенно, так как могут ясно выражать свои мысли как устно, так и письменно.
Literate people feel content as they clearly express their thoughts both orally and in the writing. This underlines their professionalism and competence, which certainly contributes to success.
Это подчеркивает их профессионализм и компетентность, что, безусловно, способствует успеху в жизни. Помните, грамотность – это не только навык, но и ключ к уверенности и достижениям в жизни.
Remember, literacy is not only a skill, but also a key to confidence and achievement in life. The words of greetings in given to the School of Belarus 152.
Сейчас слово передается 152-й школе, учителю английского языка, тоже школе мира.
So, good morning, I'm glad to see you. My name is Evgenia Alexandrovna. I'm an English teacher. Near you can see Petrovich is Associate Director. So, we represent the State Institution of Education, Secondary School number 152, named after 𝗂𝗶𝘁𝗃𝗀𝗃, city of Minsk. Our school had created a modern and dynamic educational space, the main task of which is to provide quality education for the young generation in the conditions of modern social transformation processes. In October 2023, our school was awarded the status School of Peace, which demonstrates such priorities of education of students and as humanism, integrity of peace. We pay great attention to civic patriotic education of young people. This education allows to involve young people in both socially significant activities and improve their subject competencies. The promising directions of patriotic education in our school are represented by the activities of the Memory Club, as well as the school museum. So, in the current conditions of a growing generation, it's important to receive quality education, find your place in life, develop as a person. Values that will include love for the homeland is a key to successful development of all society. So thanks for your attention.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I'd like to introduce our guest of honor from the Russian delegation, Vadim Mikheev, Lieutenant Colonel, veteran peacekeeper, international coordinator of Movement of Young Peacemakers and School of Peace, and a member of the Russian Union of Journalists, who will share his thoughts on literacy. So please.
Well, good morning, everyone, again, and thank you for inviting for the perfect event which we're having today. It is a very important topic that we're going to discuss, and I'm very glad that children from different parts of the world, different countries and different cities, different cultures and different religions are present. My colleagues have just presented their own view of what literacy is, and I can only join and agree with them that literacy itself, it is the very initial point of the further education. We have a saying, you can live the whole century, but then educate yourself the whole century you're living. The more educated you are, the better you integrate yourself into the society, whichever society you're at. It is educational, professional, if it is your service, if it is local, if it is national or the international. To communicate better, to interact with different people, you have to be better educated. Sometimes you can find people, mostly children, at the initial point when they only start learning how to speak, how to count, how to read. But the longer person lives, you can never find his level of literacy to be enough, because it is not something you can put into the box and you have it filled with the knowledge. Literacy, it is something that you accumulate throughout your life, and it is very important to understand. I am very sorry that I cannot stay with you for the whole event, but I will try to come back maybe after 1 hour or hour and a half. Anyhow, on behalf of the Russian side, I would like to congratulate everyone with the beginning of the new school year. It is worldwide. And today we're going to discuss 4 major topics. And on behalf of the Russian and Belarusian side, it is going to be 5 presentations. Then I will request Miss Yelena to translate for the part of the participants which do not speak English, and I hope that further on we will have less of those. We will educate our kids to be able to communicate at the language that we chose for the communication. And then Mr. Vasily Roenko will be representing the Russian side overall. So thank you very much for inviting. I wish you pleasant and successful work today, and see you in some period of time. I'm not saying, it is not my farewell, it is just saying see you in a moment.
Thank you, sir. We really acknowledge your presence. I once again thank our distinguished guests for their inspiring speeches. We will now move on to the student presentations, where delegations from each country will showcase their projects and ideas on literary development across different demographics: children, adults, women, and youth. Each presentation will be followed by a brief discussion session where we encourage all participants to share their thoughts and ask questions. To start with, we have the presentation on literacy development in young children by Indian delegation of Ashoka Group of Schools, Sinnar campus. I request you to take over.
Sinnar campus, please see to that you have a full screen open. Thank you.
Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Good afternoon, everyone. Present over here. I am Samruddhi Jagtap, student of grade 8 of Ashoka University School, Sinnar. Feels immensely proud to welcome you all in the celebration of International Literacy Day. Alongside with me are my friends, 𝗃𝗶𝘁𝗄𝗏, Swara, Zohri, and Aradhya. Today, we will be specifically talking about literacy development in young children. So let's start this presentation. The literacy rate around the world varies greatly. In many developed countries, almost everyone can read and write. However, in some countries, a significant number of people still struggle with the basic reading and writing skills. Efforts are ongoing globally to improve education and literacy rates for everyone. Now, my friend 𝗃𝗶𝘁𝗄𝗏 will throw some light on the literacy rates of urban students in India.
In India, the literacy rate among urban students.
Can you please work on the audible aspects? We can't hear you.
Is relatively high compared to rural areas. Most urban students have access to better educational facilities and resources, which supports higher literacy levels. Schools in cities often offer more advanced teaching methods and extracurricular activities that further enhance learning. However, disparities still exist. with some urban areas facing challenges such as overcrowded classrooms and varying quality of education. Despite these issues, the overall literacy rate among our students in India remains strong and continues to improve with ongoing educational reforms. In recent years, rural areas in India have made significant strides in literacy. Government programs and community initiatives have improved access to education, leading to increased enrollment and higher literacy rates. Many rural schools now have better infrastructure and resources, and there is a growing emphasis on adult education and literacy campaigns. These efforts are narrowing the educational gap, empowering rural communities, and fostering greater opportunities for development. Now, my friend Swara will explain the role of parents and caregivers in literacy development among young children, along with importance of preschool education.
The role of parents and caregivers in literacy development among young children is crucial, as they are child's first teachers. From infancy, parents can encourage literacy by engaging in simple activities like talking, reading, and singing through their children. This interaction builds a rich language environment that enhances vocabulary, comprehension, and communication skills. Reading aloud to children not only helps them to recognize letters and sounds, but also introduce them to new words, ideas, and concepts, laying the foundation for early literacy. Preschool education has profound impact on literacy development among young children, providing structured learning environment that build on the early foundation laid at home. In preschool, children are introduced to key literacy skills such as recognizing letters, sounds, and basic words, along with developing phonemic awareness. Through play-based learning, storytelling, and songs and group activities, children begin to understand how language works and how it connects to their environment. Teachers in preschool create opportunities for both structured spontaneous literacy experiences, helping children developing early reading and writing skills. Now, my friend Aradhya will inform all of us regarding various steps taken by Ashoka Group of Schools to improve literacy rate among the students.
Ashoka Groups of Schools provide a wide range of facilities which help the student to cope up with the current scenario. To count some, we have ICT labs, well-equipped libraries which contains all sort of books. We have different labs such as maths, chemistry, bio, physics and STEM lab as well.
Not only this, but the Ashoka Group of Schools have adopted a village where we educate students and provide them some basic facilities such as books and notebooks, and plus we plus other needs.
So here we end this presentation with a very famous quote that let's remember, one book, one pen, one child and one teacher can change the world. Thank you so much for being attentive and give us this opportunity to present. Thank you.
A really invocative presentation. Thank you. The next is the Russian delegation to put forth their views on literacy development in young children by 𝘃𝗶𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗿, Diplomatic Cadet School of the 1st Moscow Cadet Corps. I request you to take over.
सभी को नमस्कार। हम कैरेट स्कूल का कैरेट्स हैं और अभी हमको एक प्रेजेंटेशन इंग्लिश में दिखाएंगे. So this is the International Day of Literacy. So now we will show you what is the International Day of Literacy. What is the International Day of Literacy? Since 1969, the annual celebrations of International Literacy Day have taken place on 8 September around the world to remind policymakers, practitioners, and the public of the critical importance of creating more literate, just peaceful, and more sustainable society. Literacy is a fundamental right, human right for all. It opens the door to the enjoyment of other human rights, freedoms, and global citizenship. Literacy is a foundation for people to acquire broader knowledge, attitudes, and behaviors to foster a culture of lasting peace based on respect for equality and non-discrimination, the rule of law, solidarity, justice, diversity, and tolerance, and to build harmonious relations with oneself, other people, and the planet.
Where was the global celebration held? The global celebration was held on 9 and 10 September 2024 in Yaoundé, Cameroon. It included a global conference, the award ceremony of the UNESCO International Literacy Day, and side events such as the annual meeting of Global Alliance of Literacy within the framework of lifelong learning and meeting of action researching and measuring literacy and alternative education, and the UNESCO Global Network of Learning Cities. Events in honor of International Literacy Day are held at all levels, from global to local, through seminars, lectures, round tables, congresses, and held. In 2023, the main UNESCO conference was to be held in Paris. It will award international prizes for projects to eliminate illiteracy. Traditionally, on this day, city libraries hold master classes and conferences, organize free readings, drawings, essay, and poetry competitions, with a presentation of certificates and memorial gifts.
Volunteer movements. Volunteer literacy movements around the world play an important role in improving children's educational attainment and reading and writing skills. These movements provide volunteers with the opportunity to work with children, helping them to develop basic literacy skills and broaden their horizons. One such volunteer movement is Room to Read. The organization was founded in 2002 by John Wood to combat illiteracy and lack of education in developing countries. Room to Read works in Africa, Asia, Latin America, providing writing. They also strive to support gender equality in education, giving girls an equal opportunities to get an education. Other volunteer movements. Another well-known volunteer movement is Teach for All. This global network of organizations operates in more than 50 countries and aims to improve children's primary education. Teach for All attracts young leaders who, after intensive training, are sent to schools with low levels of education to work as teachers. They help children develop literacy skills and inspire them to continue their education. Also worth noting is the World Literacy Foundation, which is an international non-profit organization designed to combat illiteracy. They work in various countries providing literacy programs and educational resources for children and young people. The foundation also conducts research data and analysis to better understand illiteracy and develop effective methods to combat it. Thank you very much for letting us present this presentation. We're happy to see everyone from the Indian delegation. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your perspective. It really provides a fresh way of looking at things. Coming up, we have the presentation on literacy development in adults by Indian delegation of Ashoka Group of Schools, Arjun. I request you to please take over.
Namaste all, I am 𝗂𝗍𝗍𝗄𝗏 and I would like to explain the importance of education
in adults. It is rightly said that a man without education is like a building without foundation. Education plays a major role in a nation's development and is a basic right of every human being. India is the second largest populated country in the world and has a literacy rate in adults of around 71%. For adults also, literacy rate in rural areas was lower than that in urban areas. In rural areas, adult literacy rate was 64% compared to 84% in urban areas. India's literacy rate continues to rise, and there are many extra measures taken in the states where there are low literacy rates. Adult education is very important, as without adult education and adult literacy, it is not possible to have that range and speed of economic and social development which we require. The various reasons for which we need adult education are: first, adult education brings a new hope for the illiterate masses who fail to get education during the school years. About 50% of people still live in the darkness of ignorance and illiteracy. Only adult education can bring them out of it. Second, one of the main reasons of this economic disparity is illiteracy. People who are not educated are forced to indulge in menial tasks. They are not paid well and continue to lead a miserable life. Adult education has proved to be a boon for such people. Seeking education makes them more knowledgeable. They get to know about their rights and the rightful wages they should be paid, which helps them prevent any form of exploitation against them. Third, those who are uneducated indulge in tasks such as cleaning and washing. They earn lower wages and have a poor lifestyle. Seeking adult education helps them find better jobs and do well in life. Adult education gives a chance to learn and expand knowledge, which in turn provides better job opportunities. Fourth, an educated person is certainly more confident. He has an opinion about various things and doesn't hesitate in sharing the same. This sharing of opinions and suggestions can help in the betterment of one's society, surroundings, and even the nation as a whole. Fifth, better parenting. An educated adult can nurture his children much better. He is knowledgeable and wiser and can thus guide his children at every step. It helps to lead and develop a better life. Sixth, because of adult education, even women are no longer confined to kitchen and other household tasks. Due to education, they need not stay dependent on male members of the family. Adult education programs are an opportunity for them to take charge of their lives and become self-dependent. Education helps to empower women and make them politically more conscious. Thank you for allowing me to share the importance of education among adults. Now my friend will let us know about the National Adult Education Program started by the Government of India.
Hello all, I am 𝗃𝗶𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗿. The National Adult Education Program was launched on October 2nd, 1978 to eradicate illiteracy. It aims to extend educational facilities to 100 million illiterates between the ages of 15 to 35 within a time frame of 5 years. The program emphasizes on three things. First, literacy and numeracy. Second, functional development. Third, social awareness. The National Board of Adult Education has been set up under the chairmanship of Union Education Minister to periodically appraise the progress and implementation of National Adult Education Program and to advise the government on various matters. In each state, there will be a State Board of Adult Education to function as the agency of coordination and advice. There will be a State Adult Education Officer with necessary supporting administrative and professional staff under the overall guidance of the State Board. It is a matter of great appreciation that now the Government of India has come forward to tackle the task of the project, Education for All, through importing education to millions of adults. In this regard, the National Policy on Education 1986 took a pledge to the eradication of illiteracy, particularly in the 15 to 35 age group. Now all the efforts are taken for promoting meaningful and effective adult education. The UNESCO has been advocating the dual-track approach designed to promote simultaneously literacy and basic learning for adults and universalization of elementary education for children. Thank you all. And now my friend will share various schemes and policies for education of adults.
Namaste all, I'm Asmi Sanane. Adult education is now education for all in the country. 𝗃𝗶𝗿𝗁 is a Government of India initiative launched by Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to create a literate society through variety of teaching learning programs for the non-literate and non-literates of 15 years and above. The Union of India has approved a centrally sponsored scheme, namely New India Literacy Program. The NILP has been approved for the next 5 financial years from 2022 to 27 in order to integrate all the aspects of adult education with the National Education Policy 2020. The Adult Education Ministry has chosen to use education for all rather than adult education, since the previous terminology was not applicable to non-literates aged 15 and above. It will cross the country covering 5 crore non-literates during the implementation period from 2022 to 23 to 26 to 27. The scheme has been approved by the Education Ministry of India with a financial outlay of Rs 1037.90 crore, including central share of Rs 700 crore and state share of Rs 337.90 crore. The scheme has different components, namely, first, foundational literacy and numeracy, second, critical life skills, third, vocational skill developments, fourth, basic education, fifth, continuing education. Sixth, the scheme will be implemented through volunteerism through online mode. Seven, the training, orientation, workshops of volunteers may be organized through face-to-face mode. All materials and resources shall be provided digitally. Under the Adult Literacy Program, 88,005 adults have been made literate through Diksha and 𝗃𝗶𝗿𝗁. Thank you all. Moving ahead, my friend will share the different achievements under Adult Literacy Program for India.
Namaste everyone. I am 𝗃𝗶𝗁𝗃𝗃𝗀. I would like to share the achievements under Adult Literacy Program for India. The first one, Diksha one-to-one approach. In this approach, student volunteers from schools or colleges are engaged in providing functional literacy classes to non-literate adults over a period of 45 to 60 days. The learners are advised to appear for the NIOS examination at the end of the project, which takes place in March and August every year. Second, Vidya through partnership with large organizations. There are organizations that have large membership or followers. For example, Brahma Kumari's Rashtriya Sevak Sangh, Association of Muslim Professionals, the Bharat Scouts and Guides, and Gayatri Parivar, etc. This approach focuses on building relationship with such organizations and inviting them to be an active partner to achieve the goal of total literacy. The Adult Literacy Program aims to help learners reach functional literacy in 50 to 55 hours. To implement the program, Tata Consultancy Services enters into an agreement with local NGOs and provides financial support to assist in conducting these courses. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share the different schemes, policies, and achievements under the Adult Literacy Program. Together, through initiatives like Diksha and Vidya, we are making significant strides towards a more literate and empowered India.
I'd like to acknowledge your efforts. Next up, I'd like to call is the Belarusian delegation to speak on literacy development in adults by Anton Ivashin from State Educational Institute, Secondary School number 93 of Minsk.
Can we have a full screen, please? Yeah, thank you. 𝗃𝗶𝗿𝗁.
Good morning, everyone. We are happy to be here with you today.
Hello, everybody. It is nice to start a new school year with you. I wish you all to have a successful and full of joy school year.
Today, our aim is to speak about functional literacy. It's always hard to speak or give a definition to literacy itself without checking with the vocabulary, but still all of our students understand it as an ability to be asked our teachers to explain it to us.
Yes, we're surprised how many aspects functional literacy includes: reading, arithmetical, financial, science, IT, civil, and cultural concepts. And what is more, all of them are relevant for requirements of modern world and young adults.
I suggest there are more and more learners who are not even interested in reading it. They need voting knowledge. The answer to question why becomes more and more important in today's world.
So, if literacy is the ability to read and write, then functional literacy is an ability to use literacy in every area of life. Let's define each aspect in functional literacy and get acquainted with it throughout the experience of our students.
Reading literacy is understanding, using, evaluating, and reflecting on, engaging with text in order to achieve personal objectives, enhance knowledge and capability, and contribute to society. In the 21st century, reading extends to digital platforms and requires accumulating deep resources, navigating through devices, discussion between text and opinion, and construction knowledge.
Reading literacy and its effects starts with simple understanding of the text. It also helps us to develop our memory, analyzing. It broadcasts our thinking and understanding of other people through reading. It also allows us to widen our knowledge. A great example of applying reading literacy skills was shown by one of our teachers of Belarusian language. Our students, together with their teacher, have shown on the base of the poet poem 𝗂𝗏𝗍 𝗂𝗏. We learned heritage, customs, traditions of Christmas and Easter celebration. So everyone haven't just read and understand the poem and author's ideas. All of us got acquainted with the time of the poem and got closer and more interested to know more about additional experiences.
For sure, it was one of the most vivid life examples. Anyway, we can make a strong case that almost every lesson our teachers are doing their best to help us to develop our literacy. For example, English classes, we are dealing with different types of these competencies. We are making projects on environmental issues to expand our scientific literacy by presenting books and projects about Belarusian nature and climate change. We explore our literature in classrooms. We are learning how to apply up-to-date IT knowledge and how to use AI technology.
Furthermore, at the beginning of the year, our students have attended Science Festival in Minsk, where for sure they have found the answers to many whys, as it is a great deal to show and apply skills in functional literacy as sciences, IT, and robotics skills, and furthermore to get acknowledged with the latest achievements. Let's have a look at a very short video of this event.
As a result, we inspire our teachers and they inspire us back to increase our literacy level of all competencies. Thank you very much for your attention.
I appreciate your thoughts. They add depth to our conversation. Next, we have the presentation on literacy for women by Indian delegation of Ashoka Group of Schools, Ashoka campus. I request them to take over, please.
Belarus, you would like to close down the presentation?
Закройте, пожалуйста, презентацию представителей белорусской школы.
Yes, the next presentation can take over. Thank you. Full screen, please.
Namaste. I am Pranika from Ashoka Group of Schools, Ashoka. Today, I will be presenting an introduction on the topic of female literacy across India. In 1951, the literacy rate for women in India was just 8.86%. Fast forward to 2022, and this rate has risen significantly to 70.9%, a remarkable achievement. Today, we will explore how far we've come in educating women and discuss the crucial steps still needed to ensure that every woman has the opportunity to learn and thrive. First, let's delve into some historical background. Pre-independence, the literacy rate for women was alarmingly low. For example, in 1901, the literacy rate for women was only about 0.6%. Post-independence, the Indian government made efforts to improve women's education, and in 1951, the literacy rate for women was 8.86%. Now, let's examine our current situation. Our current scenario shows a considerable improvement thanks to government initiatives and policies. As per the NSO survey of 2021, the literacy rate for women stood at 70.3%. Rural women have a lower literacy rate compared to urban women. There are also significant variations across different states, like Kerala, which has the highest female literacy rate. In conclusion, while India has made significant progress in women's literacy, there is still work to be done. The government continues to implement and enhance initiatives to ensure that every woman has the opportunity to receive an education and reach her full potential. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Namaste and an afternoon delight. This is 𝗃𝗶𝗿𝗁 from Ashoka Group of Schools, Ashoka campus. I'd like to brief everyone present here on regional disparities in female literacy in India and women's literacy in Kerala. Regional disparities in female literacy across India reflect deep-rooted socio-economic and cultural differences. In states like Kerala, where female literacy exceeds 90%, long-standing investments in education, health, and gender equality have led to better outcomes. The disparity between states remained pronounced, with states like Kerala showing high literacy rates, while states like Bihar continue to lag behind. However, in states such as Bihar, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh, female literacy lags far behind, often below 60%. These regions face challenges like traditional gender roles, early marriages, limited access to schools, and lack of awareness about the importance of female education. Additionally, rural areas experience lower literacy rates compared to urban regions, as girls often drop out of school to support household chores or due to unsafe travel conditions. Disparities are also seen among different social groups, with marginalized communities such as scheduled castes and scheduled tribes experiencing even lower literacy rates. Government programs like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and various state-led initiatives aim to bridge this gap, but more focused interventions are required to address the unique barriers faced by women in these regions. I'd now also like to highlight the exceptional strides taken by the government of Kerala for the women's literacy in Kerala. Kerala stands as a shining example of how focused commitment to education can transform a society. With a women's literacy rate of an impressive 96%, Kerala has set a high standard for progress and equality. This success is the result of visionary policies, community involvement, and a collective belief in the power of education. From the early 20th century, Kerala's leaders worked tirelessly to dismantle barriers and ensure that education was accessible to all, regardless of gender. Kerala's story is a beacon of hope and a model for other regions. It demonstrates that with dedication and inclusive policies, we can create a world where every woman has the opportunity to learn and thrive. Let us celebrate and build upon this success, advocating for education as a fundamental right for all. Thank you.
Namaste. Today, I am 𝗃𝗶𝗿𝗁 from Ashoka Group of Schools, Ashoka campus, will reflect on the progress and challenges in female literacy in Bihar. As we look back the census data, we see a story of remarkable strides and persistent disparities. In 2001 census, the national female literacy rate stood at approximately 53.7%. This was a period of foundational change, but the journey was far from complete. Bihar, at the same time, had a significantly lower female literacy rate, around 33.6%, while Kerala stood as a beacon of progress with a rate of approximately 87.9%. By 2011 census, the national female literacy rate has risen to 65.5%. This increase reflects our collective efforts towards improving education for women across the country. Bihar saw an improvement, reaching a rate of around 51.5, yet still lagging behind the national average. Kerala continued to lead with a remarkable female literacy rate of approximately 92.7%. The lower literacy rate in Bihar, particularly for women, can be attributed to several interrelated factors. First, early marriage. Bihar has one of the highest rates of child marriage in India. Many girls are married off at young age, preventing them from completing their education. Inadequate infrastructure, the lack of schools, especially in rural areas, along with poor infrastructure, overcrowded classrooms, and a shortage of female teachers reduces access to quality education for girls. Third, distance to schools. In many rural areas, schools are located far from home. The lack of safe transportation or security concerns discourages families from sending their daughters to school. Fourth, lack of awareness. In communities, there is limited awareness about the importance of female education. This results in lowering of enrollment rates and higher dropout rates for girls. Next, let's discuss the factors affecting women's literacy. The socio-economic barriers, poverty, child marriage, and household responsibilities have historically limited women's access to education. Then the cultural norms that prioritize boys' education over girls still prevail in parts of country. Lastly, the lack of proper schooling facilities, especially in rural areas, impacts the education of girls. Thank you.
Namaste everyone. I am 𝗃𝗶𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗿 from Ashoka Group of Schools, Ashoka Marg, and I am here to tell you some efforts done by Government of India in Bihar. So the first one is 𝗃𝗏𝗄𝗃 की शिक्षा अभियान. This scheme focuses on promoting education among girls, especially in rural and marginalized communities. It aims to increase enrollment, reduce dropout rates, and increase the quality of education for girls. The next is Mukhyamantri Balika Cycle Yojana, launched to encourage girls' education by providing bicycles to female students in grade 9 to 12. These initiatives help reduce transportation barriers and increase school attendance. The next is Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, a savings scheme for the education and marriage of the girl child. It provides financial support and encourages parents to save for their daughters' future educational needs. The next is Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalay, KGBVS. These are residential schools for girls from disadvantaged backgrounds aimed at improving access to quality education and reducing dropout rates. The next is Integrated Child Development Services, ICDS. While primarily aimed at improving maternal and child health, ICDS also includes educational components like early childhood care and education, which indirectly supports female literacy. The next is National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, NREGS. This scheme provides employment and income security to rural households, which can help reduce poverty and indirectly support the education of girls by alleviating financial burden. The next is Midday Meal Scheme. This program provides free meals to children in government schools, which encourages attendance and retention, particularly among girls from low-income families. The next is state-specific programs. Bihar has also introduced various state-specific schemes and projects aimed at improving female literacy and education, including community-based initiatives and partnerships with NGOs. Thank you.
I'm Anvita. Namaste, I'm Anvita from Ashoka Group of Schools, Ashoka Marg campus, and it is my privilege to share India's extensive efforts in advancing girls' education and financial empowerment, which have led to remarkable progress in female literacy. India's female literacy rate has increased
from 53.67% in 2001 to 70.3% in 2020, largely due to many targeted policies. The Beti Bachao Beti Padhao initiative has impacted 1.47 crore girls since its launch. The 𝗃𝗶𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗵 Balika Vidyalaya scheme has set up over 5,700 residential schools for girls from underprivileged communities. Named after Kasturba Gandhi, it focuses on increasing enrollment, providing quality education, and offering many financial incentives. There are many state-specific programs like West Bengal's Kanyashri Prakalpa, which has supported over 7 million girls, while Rajasthan's Rajashri Yojana has benefited 10 lakh girls by providing financial aid from birth to their education. Additionally, Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister's Girl Child Protection Scheme has been pivotal in reducing the gender bias in education. In the area of financial empowerment, according to the reports by the Ministry of Finance, the Government of India, the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana has facilitated over 41 million accounts, enabling families to save for their daughter's future. Maharashtra's Mukhyamantri Maaji Ladki Bahin Yojana ensures financial support for girls from weaker sections, enhancing their access to education. India is also set to pass the Women's Reservation Bill, reserving 33% of seats in Parliament and state legislatures for women. Additionally, the National Education Policy 2020 aims to close the gender gaps in higher education, particularly in the STEM fields. India is also taking proactive steps to strengthen women's legal standing. Some of the key laws and upcoming reforms include Mahila E-Hath, Women's E-Marketplace, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, Prime Minister's Micro Units Development and Refinance Agency Scheme, Stand Up India Scheme, and the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, which literally means Deen Dayal Upliftment Scheme. Thank you.
Ashoka has also done a lot of initiatives. As a school initiative, the students of our school have adopted a school in Masurli, Maharashtra. This initiative offered our students an opportunity to plan and execute an end-to-end operations campaign, while it also offered an opportunity to the students of the adopted school who will now be able to study and learn new things like us. Thank you.
Your view has offered important insight, broadening our understanding of this literacy. Now, up comes the Belarusian delegation with the presentation on literacy for women by the students of the Gymnasium of Arzamas, 𝗃𝗶𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗵, Alina, 𝗃𝗶𝗿𝗁 Artem-Ribbon at Orlova Sofia.
Good afternoon, dear friends. We congratulate everyone with International Literacy Day. There's a good expression, the more you know, the more you can. Now, in the modern world, there are more than 860 million adults who cannot read and write. Of these, 470 million are women. As Kofi Annan said, in 2002, women's literacy is very important for a world in which everyone is healthy, fair, and rich. In his opinion, there is no better way to develop than the education of girls and women. Literacy helps women to expand women's personal opportunities. No other policy will help as well as this one, make the economy stronger, reduce the number of deaths of children and mothers, and improve medicine. Literacy helps to develop. Kofi Annan believes that this is a very important way to achieve the Millennium Development Goals. Reading the past will write the future. Today, in the digital world, it is important to be able to read and write. Nowadays, women can be just as successful as men, and this is confirmed by real-life examples. Today, we want to tell you about our women who have achieved great success in their work and made discoveries that have changed not only science but also people's lives. Ekaterina Dashkova. She was the head of the St. Petersburg and Imperial Russian Academy of Sciences. She organized public lectures for all people. Thanks to her, the Russian language was considered worthy of study. 𝗃𝗶𝗿𝗁 was the world's first female professor of mathematics. She has been fighting all her life for the right to do what she likes.
Nadezhda Suslova was the first female doctor in Russia. In 1967, she received a diploma of Doctor of Medical and Surgery. She worked as a doctor and organized paramedic courses for girls.
Zinaida Yermoleva. Zinaida Yermoleva invented the first antibiotic in the USSR. He helped defeat cholera. During the Second World War, this drug saved the life of tens of thousands of wounded. But the main thing is that Zinaida Yermoleva studied cholera. Thanks to her research, there was no epidemic in the country.
Valentina Tereshkova is the first woman who flew into space. She went into space on the Vostok 6 spacecraft. She was in space for 3 days. After returning to Earth, Tereshkova began to teach others and engage in science. But she still remains the only woman who flew into space alone and not as a part of a crew. Magdalena Pokrovskaya made the first live vaccine against the plague. Magdalena Pokrovskaya is a graduate of the Saratov Medical Institute. She created a live anti-plague vaccine. Magdalena Pokrovskaya tested her vaccine on herself. She was not afraid to experiment on herself, although it was dangerous.
Lina Stern. She was the first woman among scientists at the USSR Academy of Sciences. She created 2 laboratories where substances were studied and a department where they studied how the body changes with age. She also figured out how to treat tuberculosis, meningitis, and syphilis. Larisa Popugayeva is a scientist. She found diamonds in Yakutia. She studied at the university in Leningrad. She went on expedition to the polar Europe. And in 1954, she found the country's first diamond pipe. This tube was called 𝗟𝗏𝗄𝗃. This discovery helped the development of science. Being literature is cool. In our country, all children have the right to a good education. It is written in the Constitution. Russia is now one of the 20 most educated countries in the world, but we still have room to grow. Thank you for attention.
Thank you for presenting such a well-thought opinion. It enriches our conversation. Now I request the Russian delegation to speak on the same, literacy for women.
Russian delegation, do you have the presentation?
Русская делегация по данной же теме, кто вместе с Арзамасом выступает, вас приглашают.
Да, Елена, сейчас в Беларуси от вас выступление.
А мы же не по этой теме
Сейчас
готовимся.
выступление от Беларуси по данной теме.
Все хорошо.
Арзамас выступил, объявили Беларусь, выступил Арзамас. Сейчас Беларусь.
Good Russia, ага.
Так, Анна Сергеевна, школа 97. От вас выступление. У вас микрофон выключен, Анна Сергеевна.
Do we have any issues on the presentation?
Скажи, включаемся. Валя, скажи, включаемся.
Okay.
Literacy is a key determinant of women's opportunities and quality of life around the world. It opens the door to education, economic opportunities, and social activism. Despite significant educational achievements, female literacy remains low in some regions of the world. According to UNESCO, in 2021, about 132 million girls did not have access to education. Improving literacy among women is not only a matter of equality, but also an important step towards the sustainable development of society as a whole. Investing in women's education should be a priority for all countries to ensure a bright future for future generations. Literacy, from Latin grammatica, the doctrine of literature, from other Greek literature, grammar. In the Middle Ages, literacy among women remained low. and education was available only to the nobility. In the 19th century, schools for girls began to appear, but the literacy rate among women still lagged far behind that of men. In developed countries, the number of women in higher education is growing faster than men, and women have already outpaced men in university admissions. However, differences remain in the choice of specialties, career paths, and remuneration. Women spend more time on housework and parenting, which requires more flexible schedules and less workload. Gender inequality in education leads to a deterioration in the quality of girls' education and their subsequent dim prospects for their own earnings. There are 758 million illiterate adults, 15 years and older, in the world today. 2/3 of them are women. The illiteracy rate among women is the result of gender discrimination, leading to poverty. The literacy rate among women in the world remains a significant problem. According to UNESCO, in 2020, about 763 million people without basic reading and writing skills are mostly women. Countries successfully fighting gender inequality in education: Iceland, Sweden, Canada, Norway, Austria. The impact of literacy on women's lives. 1. Economic independence. Educated women are more likely to get high-paying jobs, which contributes to financial stability and independence. 2. Social influence. Literate women are more likely to become active participants in public life, take part in decision-making, and influence politics. 3. Health and well-being. Education is directly linked to improving health, as literate women are better informed about health issues and have the opportunity to make informed decisions.
I'd like to appreciate you for such an engaging presentation. Next, we have a presentation on literacy development in youth by the Indian delegation of Ashoka Group of Schools, AGA campus. I request them to present their thoughts.
Full screen, please. Yes, sir.
Greetings everyone. My name is 𝗃𝗶𝗁𝗄𝗆 and I am here to represent the delegation of Ashoka Group of Schools, AGA campus. We will be speaking on the topic literacy for youth in India. Starting from the top, the importance of youth literacy. Personal development. Early access to education is essential for personal growth, aiding individuals in accessing information, critical thinking, effective communication, and self-confidence. People who are educated can use digital devices to their full potential, which boosts their confidence and helps them gain access to new knowledge all across the internet and find better jobs that are well suited to them. Societal progress. Youth literacy is crucial for fostering informed citizenship, promoting social cohesion, reducing inequalities, and active participation. Literacy will help children of all countries to recognize their citizenship and be proud of their nation's history. And it also promotes cultural balance and everybody participating together and without inequalities between the different caste systems. Economic growth. Improving youth literacy enhances economic productivity and innovation. An educated generation can adapt to changing employment trends, drive economic development, and lead to a skilled workforce, essential for attracting investment. Just as an example, in India itself, from the year 2000, it was a trend that many people will go for mechanical engineering as their career. This led to a lot of supply of engineers, yet due to this the demand fell. That is why many people at that time were left jobless. That is why it is important to be able to select a career that will help them in the future. Also, a skilled workforce will have people possessing many skills. For example, collaboration, communication, analysis, evaluation, reflection, and many more. Challenges faced by India in literacy for youth. Poverty. Poverty is a major issue all across India, especially in rural areas, which hinders a good education for thousands of children, especially the youth all across India. Lack of school facilities. All across India, there is a lack of proper benches, chairs, most importantly, books like textbooks and notebooks, and also qualified teachers who can teach the children to their full potential. High population density. In recent years, India's population density has skyrocketed, causing a very high pupil to teacher ratio, which hinders education and personal doubt solving for many children. Lack of awareness. Many children, especially in the poorest regions of the country, are not aware of education and its full potential and what all comes under education. Social barriers. Ever since we got freedom from the British, we were having many social barriers, especially a rigid caste system, which hindered education for many people of the lower castes. Major initiatives taken by India for literacy for youth. National Literacy Mission, NLM, and Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, RMSA. National Literacy Mission. Initiation. It was founded in 1998 by the Government of India. The goal of this mission was to eradicate illiteracy in India and also teach the youth, as the youth was the future of the country and still is, and it is the one that will shape our nation's future. Flagship programs launched were total literacy and, relevant to our point, post-literacy. Achievements. They were able to reach children of a jaw-dropping 597 districts in India. Out of this, 174 districts are not in post-literacy programs and 328 districts continuing education. Now, I would like to hand over to my colleague Ananya to present the rest of the presentation.
Greetings to everyone. My name is Ananya. I would continue briefing on some initiatives taken by India for literacy for youth. Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. Initiation. It was founded in 2009, established by the Government of India. Goal. Improve secondary education to students of all backgrounds, and to also improve the equipments in the schools to engage and interact and create an interactive surrounding for the students. Achievements. Construction of more 12,600 secondary level school equipped with facilities all around the country. Total enrollment of more than 1.47 million children in secondary schools. Vocational training. What is vocational training? It is a type of education that prepares people for a specific job or trade. Initiatives taken by India. Skill Development and Vocational Training Institute of India, SDVTII. Samridhanam Vocational Training Institute of India. Youth literacy impact on society. Community development. Foster community engagement, social cohesion, active citizenship, leading to the overall well-being and development of societies. This includes the collaboration among the youth, which will help them to be better citizens of the future, which can include being politically aware, being woke, and things like voting, etc. Economic prosperity, skilled workforce, innovation, entrepreneurial opportunities, uplifting economies and reducing poverty. We will have a skilled workforce if we educate and provide literacy to our youth. Innovation, it will help our youth to have a critical thinking and find up new ideas for the economy of our countries. Sustainable development, empowering individuals to make informed decisions, participate in civic life, contribute to a more sustainable future. If we provide literacy to our youth, it will be a huge step, as our youth is the next working generation of our nation. Initiative promoting youth scholastics. Other literacy promoting initiative by India. Padhe Bharat, Badhe Bharat, which is made for making people aware about the literacy of youth. National Skills Development Mission, which will help our children to develop their skill and be better citizens for their future and follow their passion. Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan, National Digital Literacy Mission, NDLM scheme, to inform our youth about the digital literacy as the social media and the internet is taking over our nation, and our youth needs to be informed about things like cyber security and cybercrime. Conclusion. India is surely improving, with the youth of India, aged 15 to 24, having a literacy rate of 97%. India ensures free and compulsory schooling for kids aged to 6 to 14, setting rules for schools to provide a good atmosphere and learning for growing, which is included in the Gandhian principle of our country. Contributions of Ashoka in the promotion of literacy amongst the youth. The Rotary Club, which is one of the biggest national missions for literacy in India. Ashoka Astronomical Society, to help aspiring scientists to find their passion and have a platform to showcase their talent. Thank you.
I value your input. It really encourages a more comprehensive dialogue. Now I'd like to call the Russian delegation to present their thoughts on the topic, literacy development in youth by the Beloyarskaya School.
I guess this is going to be a final presentation, I guess so. May I request the Russian delegation to take over with the presentation?
Елена Николаевна, вам слово. Микрофон нужно включить.
Да, мы знаем, что микрофоны сейчас слегка запутались. Секундочку. Что мы поделились? Не то. Мы поделились? Ой, просто.
Да, мы видим ваш экран.
Презентацию. Ну, а презентацию сейчас включили.
Презентация не запустилась.
Ага, все. Видно, да?
Да.
Все, спасибо, извините.
Hello, glad to meet you. On our meeting, we are the students from Belarus Secondary School. Nice to meet you. I would like to start my speech with the words by Mikheev Vasilyevich Lomonosov. People who do not know their past have no future. Education is a system of personal education and training, as well as a set of acquired knowledge, skills, values, functions, work experience, and competence. Dissipates all the possibilities of our century. Not getting the right knowledge is a special problem.
Children and youth are the demographic engine that makes the country progress in all directions, from sports and creative achievement to various scientific discoveries. This is an indicator of the stability and well-being of the country, its main potential. These are the people who can occupy key position in the state and will determine its course and priorities, who will also educate and guide young people. It is the literature of our generation that will determine the future of the country, its position of the world stage, economic and social development.
In today's world, when financial products and services and becoming more accessible with the development of online services, it is necessary to help young people gain knowledge and correct habits. Our school works with initiative projects to develop financial literacy of students. School of Initiative budgets 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏.
To develop research literacy, we actively participate in the Step into the Future research competition, starting from the school level, descript and all Russian. Students of our school also develop mathematical literacy, gaining knowledge of the game of chess and participating in the wide group competition. And the highlight of our school is the applause for children from teachers. Congratulations to those students who are the winners of various competitions. Thank you for your attention.
Your contribution illuminated aspects we didn't consider before. Thank you for that. I appreciate all our presenters for their illustrative contributions again. We now open the floor for a discussion session where we can all engage in a dialogue about the topics discussed as an opportunity to share perspectives, ask questions, and learn from each other.
So as we open the platform for the question and answers between the Indian delegation, Belarus delegation, and Russian delegation, please don't hesitate or please don't be shy to ask the question and have the interaction. The way it is said, in literacy, the communication plays a very vital role. If you need to gain the knowledge, you need to communicate. So please communicate between all the three delegations. Thank you. Anyone from the Russian delegation would like to put a question? Please go ahead. Anyone from Russian delegation?
I have a question to
Please go ahead.
delegations. Do you learn Russian language at school?
Say it again.
Do you learn Russian?
Okay. Do Indians learn Russian in our schools? Any student of Indian delegation would like to answer this? Indian delegation student, are we learning Russian in our Indian schools?
No, sir.
We
You
are,
can-
but we're
can
learning
explain.
French. We're learning French and German in some schools of India.
Right. So the answer is there. It's unfortunate that we are unable to have the Russian language in the Indian schools. The most of the Indian schools you will find next to English as a French to be the second language. And then some schools are also going ahead with German and Spanish. So French is the next to English, but we will love to have the Russian culture coming in and sharing their communication skills and the language skills in India. We look forward to. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir, I'd like to add.
Please.
I'd like to answer that we still do have Russian courses in India. There's a Center of Russian Studies and 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃 university where we actually get courses of Russian language.
Well said, well said. We do have the Russian language in diploma or post-graduation diploma in various universities. We do have a lot of Russian cultural exchange taking place in various cities. But yes, in the school, at the moment, we don't have the Russian as a basic language, but we do have a Russian language to be for the learning purpose in universities. Thank you. Yes, next question. Anyone from the Belarus delegation? Please go ahead.
Do you have in India any Belarusian tourists or
Say it again.
Do you have in India Belarusian delegation or Belarusian tourists?
Yes. Any Indian delegation student would like to say about it?
Can you please repeat the question?
Yes.
The question was that do you receive many Belarusian or Russian tourists in India?
I think we do, mostly in Mumbai or Bangalore, but we do, yeah.
Yes, yes. Any more Indian delegation would like to express on the question?
Sir, there are not only tourists, but there are many Russian people who come in India and stay in India. They follow the Indian culture also.
Right, right. So yes, we do have many Russian and Belarusian tourists coming in India. Especially you will see them in Maharashtra, especially in Mumbai or Bengaluru. You have many Russian and Belarusian tourists coming in Goa. So if you visit the city called Goa in India, it's a beautiful multicultural city with mountains, seas, various Indian cuisines. So if you visit there, you will find quite many Russian and Belarusian tourists coming, visiting. I have also seen many Russians who has their businesses in Goa. So many Russians are doing that in Goa with the Indian locals or the Indian nationalists. Thank you. Yes, Indian delegation, it's your chance to go with the question. You have to specify to whom, whether it's for the Belarusian or for the Russian.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So my question, sir, is to the Russian delegation. According to recent studies, they have found that the Russia's literacy rate is at a staggering 99.7% amongst the youth and also amongst the adults. So my question was, what measures and initiatives they took so that the literacy rate is so high in Russia? Like so many people are educated in Russia. So how do they do it?
Great question. I hope the question was clear that Russia has able to maintain 99.9, if I'm right, the literacy rate consistently for many years. So the question is, how is that possible for the Russian government or the Russian as a nation to able to maintain this high literacy rate? Anyone from the Russian delegation?
Yeah, I think because the Russian government gives free education. So you'll get a free primary education and secondary education. And also if you study well, you can also get free education in the college. You can go to college, you can go to the universities. So yeah, it's mostly like kind of, I don't know, it's like very weird to not go to a school, if you understand. So yeah, I think that's how.
Well said, well said.
Thank you so much.
Yes, next question back to the Russian delegation or Belarusian delegation. Anyone would like to come up with a question?
Yes, I had a question. So in your Ashoka campus, like, is it hard to study or is it like, yeah, fine? Like, is it hard? Like, just a question.
Yes, students. Is it hard to study in Ashoka campus or in Indian system?
Some subjects are very hard.
If you study hardly, it will become definitely easy. But just the thing is that you need to study very hard in Ashoka.
मराठी पढ़ते हो?
हाँ
हाँ
जी हाँ, अब
10th
तो
तक
आती है।
कंपलसरी है, कंपलसरी है 10th तक.
It's good to see that you speak Hindi well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, someone from Belarus? Any question? Yes, please.
We don't have any question. Just come to Belarus and we will be practicing in English together.
Same here, same here. I think we look forward that if the Belarus schools or the Russian schools visit our campus, we have around 4 campuses, big campuses. And if you can come here for 7 to 10 days, we can have interactive session, maybe a sports exchange program, the musical exchange program, art exchange program. So if you're most welcome to Ashoka Group of School, we will love to see you in Ashoka for 7 to 10 days if you can make it. Even Indian delegation would be more than happy to visit Russia and Belarus for any exchange program. So we are looking forward to that. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Indian delegation, do you have any questions to Belarus or Russian delegation?
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Go ahead.
Would you ever like to visit India and study in our institute?
It's a good question. Most of the time we see many Indians going to Russia for medical system and the medical education. But most of the Indians don't see Russians coming or the Belarus students coming in India for many educational aspects. Though we do have some students from Russia and Belarus for the cultural exchange programs or for the cultural educations. So the question from the student is, why don't you come to India for the education? Am I right, Swara?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Belarus, Russian delegation. Please go ahead with the answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have a lot of Indian tourists and especially students from India and especially medical institute, and we're so glad to see everybody Indian people.
Great, great. But why the Russia or Belarus is not coming to India for the studies? Any specific reasons?
Well, we think there are no any specific reasons, but just because here in Russia we have a lot of different universities to study at, and maybe we are not very well, we don't know a lot about universities of India, and it will be really great maybe for the future for some other conferences to organize such meeting where India would represent your universities, your institutions, maybe schools, and for Russia to represent ours, just exchange this knowledge, it would be great. And I would like also to say a few sentences that we have been to Tamil Nadu with our delegation of school children, and we had exchange program with the Tamil Nadu students who were coming to us. And I think it's really a great experience, and this connections should be developed for future, and it will be really great experience for all of us to study English as well and to study the culture, and maybe then to go to study at the university as well.
Thank you for sharing your experience. We definitely look forward for this exchange program. Unfortunately, at the moment, because of the conflict which is at the moment between the Russia and Ukraine, the safety aspect has been the question. But yes, we can put it other way. Why don't the Russian delegation or the Belarus come to India? India is safe, and you can always visit with your students for the sports exchange, for the musical exchange, the performing arts exchange, the cultural exchange. We look forward for the topics also in the international relations, diplomacy, peace, we come up with the Model United Nation, which is now again going to be in October in Ashoka. This will be, I think, the 3rd or 4th year of Model United Nations. So the students from Russia or Belarus, if you would like to participate, please let us know. Physically or online, we will see that the things can be aligned. Thank you. Yes, any more questions? Let me put it randomly now rather than specific. If anyone from any of the delegation, go ahead.
What kind of books do you like reading?
I think, wait, someone from Russian delegation would like to ask it something. Yeah.
What kind of books do you like reading?
What kind of books do Indian delegation like reading? Yes, Indian delegation students.
Sir.
Go ahead.
Honestly, many children in India also like to read mystery, detective, and exciting stories. And also in education, also they like to read many novels, autobiographies. Also we like to read, and about the other countries also we like, and also our own history we like to read. All of this.
Wonderful, wonderful. Any Indian delegation would like to say more on this particular topic?
Actually, it depends on every person, so it's their choice. But we have many kinds of genres in our culture. We also read like languages, like one of the delegation students said. We read Marathi, Hindi, English, even the subjects which are taught to us, we read educative things and stuff. So yeah.
Not willingly. Not willingly.
By the way, Sanvi, I
Yes,
know you are a good singer. If you would like to go with some short, something in Marathi or Hindi, I'm sure they will love to listen to you. Any
I'm
short.
sorry, but my tonsils are really not like due to the climate changes. I am not.
Anyone would like to sing or have some short, cultural aspect that can be shared? Anyone from Indian delegation? You're shy. It's important that we should not be shy when we communicate, right? Yes, anyone from the Russian or Belarus delegation? A final question before we move ahead for the feedback session. No? Anyone from Indian delegation? Final question?
Yes, sir. I want to ask the question to Belarus delegation. Why Belarus is an ideal place for foreigners to get an education?
Say it again. Go slow.
Why Belarus is an ideal place for foreigners to get an education?
I didn't hear you properly.
So my question is, why Belarus is an ideal place for foreigners to get an education?
So why the Belarus is a good opportunity country for?
She said why Belarus is an ideal place for foreigners to get education.
Okay. Anyone from Belarus would like to answer why Belarus is an ideal place to have a foreign education? Am I right? Yes. I don't think it's only Belarus, it's also Russia. You have many education institutes offering various courses, right from medical to engineering. And so there is quite a number of exchange programs out there. So anyone from Belarus or Russia would like to say that which are the various platforms of education where you have many foreigners coming in?
I can answer. So in the Moscow State University, it's like the main prestige university like in Russia. So a lot of foreign students go there mainly like on exchange programs. Some just come just to study. There are of course like separate institutes, especially for foreign students, international schools. I don't know. It's just like in Russia, especially in Moscow, there's a big, how do you call it? I don't know how to phrase it. Basically, medicine is kind of really the main subject here. Like, I don't know if you understand me, but yeah, like everyone comes here for medicine. Basically, like everyone I know that comes to Russia, they are all medicine students. I've like saw many ads on rickshaws in Mumbai also when I was there, like medicine schools in Moscow and all of that stuff. So yeah, thank you.
Great. Good to see you too in this uniform. It's like an army uniform.
Yeah, we are cadets. So yeah.
Yes, Indian delegation students. Any more questions?
I would just like to ask that why is the Russian medical program so special?
What makes Russian medical program so special? Anyone from Russia or Belarus? Which are the various departments in the medical, if anybody can answer about it?
I think no, it's just like the education is not developed here, like as in like so I think mainly surgery, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it's surgery. Yeah, what else can I say? I mean,
Okay.
it's just developed more research kind of.
Okay, great. All right. I think we can move forward for the feedback. If anybody would like to give a short feedback, anyone from any of this delegation about today's session.
So the session was so interactive one and I learned many new things and a big thank you to all the teachers who gave me such a big opportunity. I'm really thankful for that. And it was nice to meet all of you. Thank you.
Great. What about from the Russian delegation or Belarus delegation? How was the experience?
On the behalf of the participants from stool number 97, the city of Minsk, let me thank the organizers of the conference. All of us realize how important it is to be literate citizens of the country, and let's change the world to the better together. Thank you so much.
Yes. Anyone from Russian delegation? I could see Indian delegation already had the feedback. Belarus did it. What for the Russian?
I would like to say that our school really glad to have a partner with international cooperation. We really have rich experience. We have rich experience and glad to share you our knowledges and glad to have your knowledges to know your some skills. Thank you. Thank you for organization of this conference.
Goodbye.
Yes, anyone from the Indian delegation? One last feedback? Yes, go ahead. Anvita.
So it was yes, sir. So it was a really insightful session and I really enjoyed it. Like all three countries were giving their opinions about the topic and it was really interactive. So it was a really good experience. I really thank the organizers and the Russian and Belarusian delegates for joining us today, and thank you so much.
Great. Host, you can take over now for the final one. Yeah.
I express my heartfelt gratitude for such feedback. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough. So finally, let's conclude with a token of gratitude from Dr. Sabnis sir. The AGM for Sports and Activities for Ashoka Group of Schools and the representative United Nations Office at Geneva for World Fund for Development and Planning. So,
thank you, Sanvi. First of all, welcome each one of you for this wonderful session. Привет, Let me put it that way. And hope you all enjoyed it, this beautiful session out here today. Let me begin with this small quote of Kofi Annan. Literacy is a bridge from misery to hope. So the way it is said that literacy plays very, very vital role in each one's life. If we are able to be literate, we are able to express. If we are able to express, we are able to communicate. And if we are able to communicate, we are able to grow as a human, as a nation, as a society. So it is very important that each one of us need to be literate. It is important that each one of us take the efforts to reach to the society and make each one literate. When we say having a literacy, it is, as per the definition, it is able to read and write. But I personally feel that to be literate or to be communicator, you need to have reading, you need to have writing, you need to have speaking, and you also need to have a listening skills. So these 4 components plays a very vital role in any literacy or any communication. As I said, communication is important. The way we did today between Indian delegation, Russian delegation, and Belarus delegation. Communication gives knowledge. Communication gives us experience. Communication connects the world together. And this is something which each one of us need to look forward to. Let me give my sincere thanks to all the 3 delegation students, coordinators, educators who are present today and did this wonderful session successful. I can't stop saying this. Thank you, big thank you to Vasily and Vadim. For without them, it's never going to be possible for us to connect between Indian delegation and Russian or Belarus delegation. So I sincerely appreciate Vasily and Vadim for your support and for your gesture. Thank you so much. On the Indian delegation side and for the Belarus and for the Russia, first of all, the management of the schools. Each one of your school management plays a very vital role, and without them, this is never possible. So thank you to management of the schools, heads and the leaders of the schools, the logistic team who is involved in this. I can see many the school classes are attending this session, and without the IT support or the logistic people who are behind this, it's never going to be possible. The coordinators who have coordinated between the Russia, between Belarus, and between India. I really thank you for all this coordination. And of course, the educators who have put their facilitation behind the students' success. So thank you, big thank you to each one of you. Let me end this speech with one more quote from Nelson Mandela, which says, education is the most powerful weapon with which you can change the world. So let's be educated, let's be literate, and let's educate the society and the global society, and let's literate the global society in our future life. You youth will be playing a very, very vital role in years to come. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to talk with you, and God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your words of motivation and encouragement. Now I would request Mr. Vasily Petrovich Roenko, the General Director of Scientific and Practical Center, 𝗃𝗶𝗿𝗁, teacher of additional education on Taganka, Moscow, and coordinator of the interdisciplinary program, Movement of Young Peace Builders at School of Peace in Russia, to share his words of gratitude.
Namaste all. Dear participants, I would like to thank everyone for today's event dedicated to UN International Literacy Day. I think that our meeting go continuation of our cooperation and help us improve our literature. I would like to thank the delegation of India, Mr. Dinesh. Thank you very much. And all teachers and all students from India for the excellent initiative and organization. We also thank our colleagues from delegates of Republic of Belarus, especially Pushkarevich Анна Сергеевна. Анна Сергеевна, спасибо большое вам за организацию белорусской стороны. I would like to thank our college Vadim Mikheev and all colleagues from Russia, from Moscow, from Arzamas, from Surgutsk district, from 𝘃𝗶𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗁, Republic of Karelia, and each school from Russia. All the presentation had a great and colorful presentation. Thank you very much all. I hope to continue our fruitful cooperation both online and in personal. Thank you for attention.
Thank you, Vasily. We are looking forward for the next session, which the Russian delegation would be arranging and where the Indian delegation will be participating into it, as Vadim told me. So I will be looking forward for that. From our end, we are looking for grade 9 and 10, which is like age group of 15 to, or rather 14 to 16, who will be participating in our next session. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
I once again would like to appreciate everyone's efforts in today's session. So now let's conclude with a group picture to commemorate this event. I request everyone to turn on their cameras for group photo.
Please turn on your camera. I know your energy is down, but let's bring it up with a beautiful smile on your face so that each one can be seen. Nitin, can you please take over? Is it done? Is it done? Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great. We can stop the recording.
Stop the recording. Stop the recording. Stop the recording. Stop the recording.